Well, hello everyone, welcome back to Hinterland. Happy Memorial Weekend if you're celebrating Memorial Weekend. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. It is absolutely beautiful here. At least it's supposed to be beautiful weather all weekend. Mid-upper 70s, sunny. Yeah, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Long weekend for me, which is nice. Of course, weekends always go much faster than the week. Somehow magically, that's never seemed to change in life. Weekends go. It's like two-day weekend is one day. It feels like one day, and then the week feels like 7 days. I don't know. I wish there was a way our brain could adjust for stuff like that. But anyways, we are here in July. We are a little later in the day because it started off raining this morning, so I had to fast forward time a little bit. Actually, I didn't fast forward time a whole lot because I have to admit something to you all, and this is hard for me to admit, but I think I have to admit that I am addicted to productions. I'm having serious issues with productions. I can't get enough of them. It's almost turned into some kind of a weird psychosis for me. It's like first thing in the morning I get up and I look to see if there's any new production mods out and to see what I can add to the map. Can I get a, pizzeria? Can I get make some potato chips? Can I make wine? Anything. It's like I want to get my hands on every production possible. And yes, if you look at our financial situation, thank goodness for passive income, because we would be sorely in debt. Just wanted to make sure I didn't borrow some money in my sleep. I have added a couple of productions. I will show you those here in a few minutes. We are on the canola harvest right now, getting this field knocked out. Actually doing some farming, since this is farming simulator, not production simulator. I think our yield percentage on this field is a little bit lower because I forgot, yours truly forgot to roll after planting, but we should still get a decent yield on this field. We are sorely in need of straw, which we're not going to get from canola. We are out of hay. I think we're out of hay. No, we're not out of hay. We're out of straw. We do have some hay left, and we have silage fermenting right now. Should be done by the end of today, I would think. Because we're getting low on TMR, but we'll get there. I think we'll figure something out. Sheep, thank goodness for the grazing mod. The sheep are self-maintaining eaters, so that's nice. We don't have to worry about feeding them, just making sure they have water. So I made a couple other adjustments I want to show you. I should probably consider emptying. You know what? This thing might be set up for self-unload. Now that I think about it. Let's take a peek. Stop while unloading. Combine self-unload is not activated. Maybe I should activate that. I don't know if it's too late. There's our wagon down there. All right, let's go take a look at something here of what I managed to do while we were away. So we've got our garden area here, right? That we set up a while ago. Oh, by the way, no, it's not either. It's a gimme. I am not extremely observant. This fencing has an inside and an outside. I haven't paid attention to that at all, so I redid a bunch of fencing because once I noticed it was really bothering me. So all the fencing is now correctly positioned, which I know is probably not a big deal, but once I saw it, then I couldn't unsee it. The remainder of Field 1, I have added very similar things to what we had done originally. I've added 2 more of these long foil greenhouses. I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 more open air gardens. Let's see if I can show you a little bit of an overhead shot so you can kind of see. So our field one we had left halfway with nothing. Well, it's filling up now. I'm not going to put any more olive trees down. I don't think at this point we need olive trees. Kind of left a little bit of space down here just in case. I think we might add something into this space down here. I have a couple ideas, but just holding off for the time being. I have not started our open air gardens or our greenhouses yet. I don't know why. I just haven't taken the time to. Oh, hello, dear. Just haven't taken the time to do that quite yet. Let's take a flyover. Cows are doing well. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you this story here in a minute. But we are selling this milk. We are going to sell this thing, our milk trailer. It's just not enough anymore. It just doesn't hold enough. I'm running back and forth multiple times with this thing. We got to get a semi. We're going to get a semi, and we're going to get a big milk trailer. We just don't absolutely have to have it today or this month, so I'm kind of hoping it shows up in the used car section. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Then we just have to buy something. That's no big deal. The Sadie's worked out really well. I do have a story about the Sadie and that milk trailer, though, that I'll tell you here in a minute. You won't believe it, because I don't believe it. Then let's come over and I'll show you a couple of new additions to the farm. Oh my goodness, to downtown Hinterland. We've got a new pizzeria. I really like this thing. I added some seating out front so people can eat outside during the beautiful weather, have their pizza, their families come off the boat. We get all those visitors and, you know, summer renters and stuff like that. So we've got a pizzeria to add to our productions. And for dessert, we've got a donut shop. And I'm just going to pretend like this is a Krispy Kreme donut because Krispy Kremes are some of my favorite. But I put down a donut shop across from the pizzeria. So we got that going on. Nothing else new down there. This is all the same as what it was before. However, I do have an idea to add something down here. I think it's kind of funny. We were backloaded on flour. We couldn't use enough flour to save our lives. Now we're running out of flour. In fact, we're kind of having a hard time keeping up. Of course, that'll help. It'll help when we start getting these harvests done. We'll start be able to generating more flour. I do want to thank Tim S., who left a comment, a couple of suggestions for mods. One of the mods Tim suggested was the slaughterhouse mod for cattle, which I am definitely going to look into on probably not this map, but when we do beef cattle. That mod looks really slick. The other mod that Tim suggested was is it the Better Productions mod, I think it's called? That one I did install. This thing's pretty cool, actually. Let me see if you're not familiar with it, which I don't think I was. I think I heard of it, but I never bothered looking at it. It's kind of cool. You can take any of your productions that you have, including, you know, anything that falls under production chain. So even the open air gardens, I guess, the olive trees, whatever it might be, and you can upgrade them. And it's basically a series of upgrades, and every upgrade costs a little bit more money. And every upgrade basically, well, speeds up the production chain. And I thought that was a great idea because the bakery has been quite slow. That I complained about that earlier. But let's say you're running out of sugar, you know, it's not keeping up. Upgrade your sugar mill, you know, that kind of thing. So good suggestion, Tim. I really do appreciate it. Definitely looks like a sweet mod. There was another mod that I came across when I was looking at the Better Productions mod. It was called Faster Productions. And it's basically the same idea. I like this Better Productions mod better, though, the one that you suggested. The other one is you install it. It doesn't cost anything, so it's, I don't know if you'd call it cheaty, but it's a little more cheaty. And what it does is it just speeds up everything. It just says, hey, actually, I no, that's not true. It speeds up, and I don't know how it decides this, but it's designed to speed up slow productions, and it leaves the faster productions alone. And I actually tested it, and it worked. It was kind of cool, actually. So all of these, our bakery, downtown bakery production, all sped up. But then I looked at something like our industrial bakery mod, and it didn't even touch that. So I don't know how it knows or what it bases that on, but it's a pretty cool mod as well. But I like this better. I like this upgrade, this production upgrade mod, Tim. Thank you for that suggestion. And I think we will use that slaughterhouse mod when we do beef cattle. But for now, we don't want to slaughter our dairy cattle. We want them around to, you know, keep making milk for us. So I want to tell you this quick story about my Sadie, the lizard Sadie here, and this milk container that you won't believe, because I don't believe it unless I saw it. I can even reproduce it on the regular. Now, you all know, I've talked about this before, I'm a tech. I've been a tech for a long time. And I've heard stories from people who will say they're having this particular problem, and then they fixed it by doing this. And I think they're crazy because how they fixed it has nothing to do with the problem they were having, right? I was working on getting these, getting our, here, I guess I can talk and work at the same time. I was, did you unload? I think it did. Oh, it did unload. That is so nice of it. So, we'll come in cab and we'll talk. So I was working on putting the pizzeria down and our donut shop down. And I got the first one down, saved the game, exited, and I got a Lua error. The map crashed. I mean, hardcore Lua error. If you're not familiar with the Lua error, the LUA script errors, they're game ending. Once you get a Lua error started, it's almost like a circular error that just keeps repeating itself, and the only way you can get out of it is, well, you got to kill the game and go back into it. And every time I would exit the game, I would get this Lua error, and I could save the game okay, so it wasn't too bad, but it was kind of annoying, right? So I started doing my troubleshooting because it just started out of nowhere. But I assumed it was the production mods I started placing. You know, common sense would say what you always look at what you recently did, or what mod you added, or what changes you've made, etc., etc. So I started blaming the poor donut shop, and I got rid of that. But then just long story short, I was testing all kinds of production facilities, even base game production facilities. And every time I would add a production facility, the Lua error would happen. It didn't matter if it was a mod or a base game one. Then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. Do I have too many productions down? And then it was, no, of course not, because I think the game still allows 64 productions. And there's even a mod that extends that to, I think doubles it to 124. So that wasn't the issue. For the life of me, I could not figure out what was causing this, because it didn't matter what production I put down. If I didn't put a production down, at first the Lua errors wouldn't happen, but then occasionally I could get them to happen. So I started thinking, okay, wait a minute. Maybe this is coincidence. Maybe the fact that maybe the production facility is a coincidental thing. Maybe there's something else going on here. And I couldn't think of what else I changed on the map. It's like I did nothing. It was working fine, and then it wasn't. But then I remembered, that I was feeding the cows, that I had fed the cows, And I also got milk from the cows, collected milk. That was the last thing I did before I started messing around with adding another production on the map. Well, one thing led to another, and I came over to the old Sadie and our milk trailer, and the milk trailer was connected to the Sadie, and it was parked right here, and they were connected together. So on a whim, just on a whim, I disconnected them, and I put the Sadie over there, and I put the milk trailer there. And you're not going to believe this. Well, you probably guessed it already. No more Lua errors. The Luas, they stopped. That's it. That was it. I could put down any production I wanted without problem. I've not gotten a Lua error since I disconnected the Sadie from that milk trailer. Now, either it is the biggest coincidence in the world, or it was the cause of the Lua error. I have no idea how it could be the cause. I really don't. I don't know the inner workings of this game. But one last note there, because you should be able to recreate the problem if indeed you think you fixed it. Guess what? I did. I attached the milk trailer to the Sadie. I saved the game and I exited Lua error. I have never, in the history of farming simulators since back in FS13, have I ever seen. The closest thing I have seen to that was back on FS, I think it was 15, when logging was first introduced. Was it 15? And there was a problem for a while where if you left a trailer connected to a tractor or to any kind of a vehicle with logs on them, and you saved the game, when you came back into the game, the trailer would explode and the logs would just go flying all over the map. That's the closest thing I could come to that was similar. But you want to talk about obscurity, and I would venture a guess that if I took that Sadie and I took that, why is it called a Sadie anyways? Who called it that? That's probably the problem. I should probably rename the mod to something that's not dumb. Sorry, modder. It's a dumb name for a mod. The Sadie. I don't understand that. But anyways, I bet if I took that same milk trailer and that Sadie, and I put it on another map, they would probably be fine. There's probably some magic universal gathering that came together. The stars aligned just perfectly, where it's Hinterland with those two mods and this particular production plant and these fields with these crops, and that's why it's causing it. I really don't know, but it's weird. I didn't believe it when I saw it, and I just wanted to tell you all about it, because that's the kind of stuff those are the kind of problems you can have in a game that will drive you crazy. And yeah, just so bizarre. So bizarre. But anyways, my fault. I like I said, I'm production happy now. I'm gonna need to start having counseling for productions. I'm out of control on productions, and I think this I can honestly say at this point are the most productions I've had on a map since 22. And I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. I think it's awesome. So we do need to get. Speaking of, we do need to get. As you can see, our pizzeria is not doing anything. Water, flour, and whoa, that's not right. Flour, tomatoes, cheese is being produced by our dairy. We can get tomatoes from our greenhouses. Flour we can get produced. And then it looks like we also need, what is that? Olive oil, which we clearly are producing olive oil. So we can make pizza margherita. Potato pizzas, I'm not so worried about. I guess we could either grow our own potatoes or we could throw some in the open air gardens. Then there's egg pizza, which I've never heard of. That sounds disgusting. Actually, is that like a breakfast pizza? Maybe that's a breakfast pizza. That may not be too bad. So flour, tomato, cheese, and eggs. We can get all those. And then flour, tomato, and olive oil for a pizza marinara. Marinara. I don't know. I was watching The Sopranos but I have a horrible Italian accent. So we'll get this pizzeria going here soon enough. I need to kick off all of our open air gardens though. None of them have started yet. And our 2 greenhouses that I put down, nothing's going on there. So we've got 2 greenhouses. What are our other greenhouses doing? Strawberries and strawberries. Okay. Well, we don't need lettuce for anything right now. So why don't we kick off? Did I pass them again? These lists get really long. I did pass them again. Come on, Brad. I only put water. I didn't add anything other than water to all of these things, so they're not going to be super fast. I say we do tomatoes on the new ones. We probably want to say tomatoes for distributing. In fact, I'm just going to change them all so that they're distributing. We know we're going to want to distribute. But let's kick off tomatoes on both of these. So we'll do distributing for all of that. So now the tomatoes will distribute to our pizzeria. For the open air gardens, we've got 8 of them now. We're going to have a huge cotton harvest, so I'm not too concerned about cotton. We're going to have corn, but we could use corn for sure. But we've got corn planted, but it's going to be a few months. So maybe we should do some corn. We need corn. We do have sugar beets going in the other one for our sugar. We could do potatoes for that potato pizza, but I'm not too worried about that one. Let's do corn, sugar beets. I guess you can do I guess you can do them all, couldn't you? But they'd be spread out pretty thin if you selected all of them. And I just realized something. We want distributing. Boy, I hate when I forget to do that. So we want to make sure that we set distribute. I'm just going to change them all because there's nothing here that we're ever going to want to sell. So distributing all the way down. And we'll put in, what did we say, corn and sugar beets, maybe? I'll give this some thought. Oh, I'm so glad this thing can self-unload, since, you know, I'm not paying any attention to what's going on. And the funny thing is I set this course up. When I made this courseplay course, oh, we can't really see it from here, can we? I set it up for what they call LANDS, LANDS. So what's supposed to happen is the combine should always have the pipe facing out, so you don't have to drive over your crops to unload it. Now, clearly, that's not happening here. But what should happen, what I think should happen, is it should go down to the end and come back on this side over here to keep the pipe. It's supposed to keep the pipe, if you know what I'm saying, on the outside, so you don't have to drive on your crops. Oh, one question I have for you all, maybe you can answer this because I couldn't figure it out. What is the selection work mode feed augers on? What is that? Like, I can turn that on and off, but I don't know. I can't do it now because Courseplay is in control of the thing. But I was looking at it earlier. I have no idea what that does. I couldn't see a difference. Like, this thing didn't change, it was still spinning. Is it for the pipe? Does it change something with the pipe? I never noticed that before. I'm sure it's been there, but I couldn't figure out what that was. So if you know what that is, let me know. I'd be curious. I'd be curious what that is. I honestly don't remember seeing that there before, but I'm not super observant when it comes to stuff like that, so I'm sure it was probably there. So I will get the rest of our open air gardens figured out as far as what we need to grow in them. It looks like we've got... Whoa, was that... I hope that was coincidence, because all I did was walk in and hit the F1 button. Hit the F1 button to open the help menu, and they disappeared. Let's try that again. Yeah, okay, that was coincidence. Okay. I'm like, what the heck was that about? So we've got all cotton here. Oh, do we have... Okay, I think we've got... Is it sugar beets over here? What's this? This looks like cotton. I thought we set up sugar beets on some of our open air gardens. Did we not? Yeah, sugar beets. Okay. Oh, are the sugar beets... Oh, I see. So the sugar beets are sharing... Oh, I see what's going on. Alright, so you got cotton and sugar beets both in the same little doomhickey here. Okay. I gotcha. It would be kind of cool if there was more functionality. I don't know if it's even possible, but if like Omatana would make it so that you could come in here and maybe manually collect some of this if you wanted to, or I don't know, do some different things with the different crops to make them, to even get more out of them. I don't know. I never really looked in here, but it looks like there's no options for doing anything in here, unless I'm missing something. Looks pretty much view only. I love these open air gardens though. They're just so easy. They're so cheap. What are they? $1,000 a piece. Throw some water at them. If you wanna get mineral feed, or I'm sorry, seeds, mineral feed, maybe even manure, you're welcome to. But to get a little more production out of them. Speaking of production too, our cows in our new cattle pen are producing a decent amount of slurry, so we might at some point whip out the old pumps and hoses and see if we can use up some of this slurry. They're almost out of straw. I don't have any straw to give them, so they're just going to have to deal without the straw. I'm going to keep them fed. I guess that's the most important thing. Corn and sugar beets. Yep, corn and sugar beets. And did you see the person, the modder? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to put in our... Oh. I need to finish this area off. It looks like I don't have our... I thought I did. Okay, so I did this one. Oh, I put a middle one in. Okay, I put a middle gate in. And that's alright. No biggie. So the modder that made... I think it's the same modder that made this buildable cattle pen is making a pig one. That looks pretty epic as well. So I think that's going to be coming out shortly in the in-game mod hub. It's for console and PC. So the same as this. In fact, I'm almost certain it's the same modder, because the same kind of deal with the grid. So that'll be pretty cool. You can have thousands of pigs if you want. And before I let you go, this milk distributor I figured out, which maybe you all knew already, distributes milk, will distribute any milk you throw at it. So instead of me driving around to the production facilities way over there on the other side of town, I'm just bringing all of our milk over to here. And this thing's taking care of distributing it to our production facilities, which is really handy. I might buy another one of those distributors and put it over here. In fact, we could probably get rid of this thing, put that little milk distributor here, and be in pretty good shape, if I'm being honest. In fact, just before I let y'all go, let's check our used market. Oh, I want to buy this. This was around one time and I didn't buy it, and it's back, and I really want to buy this. So next time we see each other, we might be the proud owners of the Amazon self-propelled sprayer, because I really like that thing. How are we doing over here? See, yeah, oh yeah. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. Keep the pipe on the harvested side of the field. So that's pretty cool. But that's all I have for you today from Hinterland. I appreciate you all taking the time to watch. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, of course, if you like. I know I yapped an awful lot this episode about non-related. Well, we didn't spend a lot of time farming, it seems like, but we got a lot of stuff going on in Hinterland, and I'm enjoying myself a great deal. This map, I think this has been the funnest map I've played, other than Old Family Farm. From a historical perspective, this has been my favorite map I've played in FS22 so far. I'm really glad we went this route. This wasn't my norm. You know, I usually play maps that are already developed and everything else, and I gotta tell you, this has been a blast. I really have fallen in love with the creativity side now, and yeah, I'm really glad we're doing this. A lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, for sure. But you all have an awesome Memorial weekend. If it's not Memorial weekend for you, hey, have an awesome weekend too. You deserve it. And I hope you get a chance to relax and chill and be jealous of the people that have a long 3-day weekend like myself. All right, you all take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I appreciate y'all so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.